Welcome to the Talk and Chatter experience powered by Gasoline Alley Harley Davidson. Today's guest is motor racing driver John Magro. Welcome, mate.
Hey, good. Thanks for having me.
No worries. You made the trip down from sunny North Queensland for some part of it to here.
Well, normally sunny, but it was like absolutely pissing down when we left there. So it was a bit of a long trip. I think it took us. We used to do it straight, so I left on Thursday at like 6 p.m.
Yep.
And we just drove straight through to Toowoomba because that's where our first round was.
Yep.
And it was a bit of a slow trip. It took like 22 hours. Towing the trailer with the Raptor.
Yeah.
So just a few spots there all the way. It was probably raining all the way to Rocky.
Really?
So and heavy, heavy. And the roads actually been up there being closed for a few days. Only just opened again yesterday.
Yeah.
So it's sort of good timing because we'll be heading back tonight, and we'll be able to get through at least.
Did you hear about that thing up in Innisfail, the guy getting his tyre, the spike strip thing the other day where the flood was?
Nah.
Okay, so remember I was telling you the other day I got friends that have gone to sunny Cairns for a holiday?
Yeah.
So they were on their way back. They thought they'd leave a day early because of weather and that. They found out that near Innisfail the road was going to be shut, like you're saying. And, he's with his family and that. And the guy bailed out of his car after the spike strips got his car and was going to jump in their car and then got pummeled by all the cops on the side of the road.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then they detoured around through the back of Charters Towers.
It took the inroad.
And from what it was a 5-hour trip to Townsville turned into 2 kids in the car and a guy running. And
oh my God.
Had a good week.
I've had something similar to that coming back from Townsville with how old was my daughter? She was like 6 months or a year old.
Yep.
And I come back from Townsville and road was closed. Just at, I think it was Ingham there.
Yeah.
So I had to take this dodgy back road up through the mountains, and it was like 100 kilometres down dirt roads.
I know.
We were just flogging it down there, instead of like 110 down dirt roads.
Well, you're a race car driver.
Yeah, well, it was actually pretty fun. But like it had the 4 drive, and it turned into like a 7-hour trip instead of bloody 4.
Yeah, it sounds pretty much the same sort of path as he went, and he ain't no racing car driver. He ain't no real good driver at all.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. There was like people in, just little Swifts and shit like this trying to drive down these outback roads, like proper dirt stuff. There's a bit of bull dust and all that sort of thing. You see these little cars going so slow. It would have taken them forever. Yeah. We were just sitting on 110. Jumping
cruising
cattle grids and shit.
Yeah, because I've seen that Raptor of yours. It doesn't mind getting airborne either.
Yeah, they love it. That's as soon as I brought it, I'm like, we got to test this thing, and built some dirt jumps for it.
Yeah,
and they're actually really good. You could have your coffee sitting in the drink. Yeah, it's smooth as. I had my 6-month-old son.
Yep.
I was jumping with him in there. He did
didn't even know.
Nah, it's smooth as. And those Fox shocks work really well. So as soon as you come off the ground, they're like drop shocks. They just drop the full droop, and you can hear it like proper clunks because it just drops them all the way down.
Wow.
So you got plenty of travel there.
So they're a pretty capable car.
Yeah, they are. They're actually, I was pretty impressed with the handling them. You put them on bar jar mode and like turn all the stability shit off.
Yep.
And you can run 2-wheel drive or 4-wheel. I was just running 2-wheel because it's sideways as.
Yeah.
And just flogging around the farm, you can have proper little bar jar tracks, and
Sick.
The harder you hit shit, the better. You get those shocks into that high damping range.
Like their workings,
Yeah, in that zone. So, and the more you're just on the throttle, the thing sits in the back, just sags, and the front sits nice and high. It's like a proper trophy truck.
So they're building well.
They actually did, And we've taken them forward driving as well, proper flex in the things.
Yep.
And they'll flex like a patrol.
Really?
Yeah, the shitty old patrols, like the boys that got it, flexing the ass out of those things. And they'll flex just as well. Like you can nearly stand under a wheel guard if you're in a big hole.
It's pretty. What motor did they stay with the 3.2?
Oh, no, man. They put the shittest motor in it.
Do they go the 2?
Yeah, the 2.2. It sucks.
Really?
I hate it.
Yeah.
I just want to rip it out. It just makes me not like the truck just because of that. It's a sick truck.
Yeah.
It just needs, you still don't really want a petrol in them. Just something a bit big. Like the 3.2 was awesome mode. I had one. I had it Tickford tuned, exhaust, bit big intercool, all that shit. And that was sick. It had heaps of power, and you could drag anyone off with it. Like you were one of the quickest trucks on the road.
Wow.
And that was in the XLT. But then with this thing, it's like the slowest truck on the road. Like, it makes a lot of torque. Like, it makes power.
Yep.
But I mean, the throttle response is shocking. I'm going to get one of those plug-in kits, like $300. I think it gives you better throttle response, apparently.
Yeah, right.
And then there's just a lot of delay. And then if you are, like, it's okay if you're light, like, you know, you just got maybe 2 people in the car or whatever.
Yep.
As soon as you load them up, and then, like, I towed that massive trailer down here.
Yeah, that's pretty big.
It's like 2 ton.
With a sprint car.
Yeah. And just fuel, man. It went up to 22 litres per 100K.
Holy crap.
Yeah, just to do like 110. But I think we had a headwind, to be honest. So it should have been a little lower, probably 19.
So what does a sprint car weigh, 900 kilo?
Nah, because it's the former 500, so we're a bit lighter.
Okay. Yeah.
So, I think, what's the car? It was 290 when I threw it on the scales, 290 kilos.
That's it?
Yeah. There's not much to it, 120, 130 horsepower on methanol.
Yeah, right.
R6.
Yep.
Well, you can run Suzuki. Some guys run Suzuki, some run Yamaha. They're probably the 2 popular ones on methanol, aftermarket fuel injection. So, yeah, they're pretty cool things. And they're revving them. Like, I don't rev mine too hard. I try to stay around that 15, 16,000, but the boys are taking up 17.
Wow.
So just screaming the tits off the things.
Methanol R6. So what's yours? Fuel injected and everything?
Yeah. So, I had it on my old car was on carbies, but the carbies just suck off the line, really. They're okay when you hold them full throttle.
Yep.
Carbies don't do too bad of a job. But it's just off the line, that initial punch. You need that punch out of them and a bit more throttle sort of feel in them.
So how are you doing your tuning on the run? Do you have like a power commander or Bazzaz or something?
Yeah, we just use a laptop. So we download a program.
Yep.
And we just use our laptop, so you can just plug in.
Air fuel meter and...
Yeah, we've got all that stuff. So you can plug in, see if it's a bit rich or lean or whatever and change the mapping. But, yeah, usually don't need to do too much.
That's super interesting. Hey, I didn't realise that was the motor for him.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's not a bad thing because, you know, there's plenty of those motors around.
Yeah.
So you can pick up, you know, just a wrecked bike up for, say, $3,000 or something. I'm running a 2012 spec engine, but you can run right back to like a 2004 or something.
Yeah, right.
They're all pretty good. You just want one that someone's crashed and maybe they're just gone into the back of a car.
Yeah.
Because if they've had a big stack and it's laid over and skidded down the road on the limiter, the motor's probably going to blow up first.
Yeah, it's not good for it.
Yeah, like it's not going to be happy, mate. As soon as you rev that thing, it's probably going to let go. There's going to be a rod coming outside.
Yeah, and that's the last thing you want to do. You travel 22 hours to Toowoomba and then your first run and have a rod go out the side.
Oh man, yeah, that's why I brought a spare motor.
Did you? Yep.
Yeah, so we've actually we haven't had a good run down here, to be honest. Like,
so what are you down here for?
We're down here for Speed Week. So it's Speed Week series. Normally they have them in Victoria, but because of the COVID, they've put one on in Queensland. And so we've got plenty of good drivers here. A few come up from Vic and New South Wales.
Yep.
Some of them had to shoot back a bit early, though, because some of the border stuff. But, so we got this series down here. We're doing 4 nights over a week. So it was like Toowoomba on, Saturday night was Toowoomba. Then we went to Archerfield on a Sunday night. And then we're up at Maryborough on a Tuesday night. And then, so today's Friday. So tonight we would be at Archerfield for the last round.
But as of about 10 minutes ago, that might... see what happens
that might
then.
not happen. I don't know. It's just lockdown things.
The vid.
Oh, man.
So how's the dirt change between all those places?
Massively.
Really?
Like, yeah, I'm used to circuits. I'm used to bitumen.
Yeah.
So, I had my car. My car was all sweet, driving on, as tracks up north, I think there's not so much clay in them, so they're like lower grip. Mm-hmm. So, I had a really good setup for all that. And I come down here and they run in Toowoomba's got massive banking.
Right.
And it's proper grippy clay. Like, my car just felt like it was going to flip.
Just driving,
just there's so much grip. The car was literally felt like it was going to flip.
So what do you do to a car that grips so much?
So that was the tricky thing to work out because I'm new to this speedway sort of stuff. This is my first year in it.
Yep.
So, had a little bit of a play around. But But yeah, it's all just sort of like a little bit of shock, but it's mostly in the rear right because obviously you turn it left, so you're sitting on that rear right tire, so you just want to give it a bit more support there with the extra grip, pretty much. That's the easiest way to sort of keep that car wanting to turn left. You don't want it turning right.
Keep it planted.
Yeah, you got to keep your foot in it. You know, we usually try to set it so you're pretty well flat.
Yeah, right.
All the way around. You might have to have a little lift in the middle of the turn. Because the track, man, dirt tracks, it just changes so much. Every time you're out there, track's different. And when I started at the start of the year, you know, all the guys have been doing it their whole lives, and then their kids are racing, and they got, you know, there's some really quick young drivers out there. And they got all this experience behind them with the old boys setting the cars up and stuff. And I'm there like, I have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah, come from this bitumen background.
Yeah, I come from bitumen in a Formula 3 car, pretty refined thing coming into, you know, what these Formula 500 and sprint cars are. It's very basic sort of, sort of set up to the cars. And, but yeah, making them turn left, that's...
Science, eh?
Yeah, there's a bit of science to it. So it's just working through things. I had to just trust my instincts on it and just like drive my ass off.
Just hold it.
Hold it, pin, and just go for it. I always call it just rag it.
Has it been good though?
It's been sick.
Really?
Yeah, it's cool. Like racing Saturday nights at Speedway. You know, you're in a cement dome. Pumping it around. Yeah, it's been awesome. And I love dirt. Like, you know, I come from motocross background.
Yeah.
And it's been pretty fun racing dirt. And like when the track blows out and shit, it's like, oh, this is so then I can just think, oh, motocross, like, how do we set these shocks? I'm like, there's big holes and shit, let's stiffen this ass up.
Yep.
So I'll just go like full stiff on my shocks. And people are like softening shit. And I'm like, what the fuck are they doing?
Yeah.
Like you just
so you go the opposite.
So I can just punch these massive holes and like the car doesn't get upset. You know, I make sure I put enough support in the shocks.
Yep.
And it's been fun. It's so different. And it's just hard, like trying to learn dirt. And what the guys, like the experienced guys, like, oh, the track's slickening off. I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? Like, and then from a technical point of view, like I'm setting the cars up as well. So I'm like the engineer.
Yeah.
But then there's the point of view from the driver, because I'm driving the thing. It's like, what does that feel like? You know, there's a feel side of it. There's the driver side. And then there's the engineering side of it. So vehicle dynamics, blah, blah, blah.
That's a hard part.
Yeah.
Especially dividing the two up, you know.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
And is there much you can change?
Yeah, there's heaps. So you can definitely get very lost.
Really?
Yeah, you could screw it up pretty well.
Yeah. So some of these families and that it's one of those sports that's been like a family after family after family go through.
Yeah.
They'd have such good setups everywhere, eh?
Yeah, that's what I mean is the experience. And like I said, they can look at a track and go, oh, that's slick track. And you'll see them run back and change tyre pressures and staggers and maybe even, you know, a little bit of ride height or something.
Yep.
Whereas I'm just sort of looking at it going, oh, shit. Like, I don't know. I'll just go out there and see how it feels and then react off that. So I was like a little bit of a slow, you know, it feels like, I felt like it took longer than it should have because, like, as a driver, you know, I'm used to, like, you turn up with circuit racing, you turn up with a good team, they're going to have a car in the window.
Yep.
You don't have to worry too much about the setup and you can focus as a driver. So I was like, 3 rounds, I'll be sweet. You know, you can just pick that stuff up. But then it's just like the engineering side of things has been so frustrating.
That's nuts, eh?
Yeah, but I think we've definitely learned heaps. I'm trying to jam like as much as I can into 1 year. So even though with all this COVID, I've done like probably 15 nights race, probably more.
Oh, wow.
Maybe even 20 nights racing.
Because Kansas got a pretty active club, eh?
Yeah, so we were running... Yeah, so they try to run once a month in Cairns, and then Mariba runs once a month. Oh. So usually, you're racing every second weekend, but with all the COVID, they had to jam it all into like a couple of months. So there was one still, I think we did 6 weekends in a row or something.
Wow.
So I was pretty packed. I was loving it.
Yeah, it's good driving all the time.
Yeah, you could drive, because that's the quickest way to learn. So I've really been able to like pick up as much as I can, and like, it's one of them things always when I step into a new category, it's like give it 3 years.
Is that right?
Yeah, you gotta give it 3 years.
Can you, at this point, do you feel like, I know in your circuit car, you'd feel 1 to 2 pound difference. Are you at the point with Speedway now that you can feel that?
Yeah, I can feel really small differences in the
Yep.
car. One thing I have noticed though is the guys are like, oh, just put, I'm like, it's not turning enough, Oh, just put quarter turn in the rear right. But I found like you put quarter turn in, man, you like the track changes too much, and you'll go out there and you don't even really feel it, so you don't even know what the hell that change did.
Yep.
As a driver, like as a feel thing.
Mm-hmm.
So you're like, I think it was better, but so from now I'm just like crank at least a turn in it.
Yep.
just I did that even in Formula 3. I'm like, nah, put heaps in.
Yep.
Like
Just
go
so I can
too
feel
far.
it.
I'd
Yep.
rather go too far and go, holy shit, that's what that did. So I've got to learn, like, because I know I feel that I'm chasing and how I think the car should handle. So I'm trying to chase that to get the most amount of speed out of it. So then I need to know what setup I can change to get that feel.
That makes sense, because it's everyone have a different style too, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
So it all comes down to your own personal
100%.
feel.
Because you talk to anyone there, like I've had plenty of guys, they're genuine. They're trying to help me out, and they're like,
Yep.
man, you should be running these bars or this bar or there or that. And man, I tried some stuff, and to me it was rubbish.
Wow.
Like I'm like, no, this
I'm going back.
just crap. I don't know how they make this work. I don't know how they drive this.
It's so weird, eh? Because everything, circuit racing probably has a, because you got such a certain grip level. I'm guessing like everyone has a base window that they're going to be in.
Yeah.
That this bar's got to go across here, and that is the way it is.
Yeah.
I guess with this, it's so the track changes a lot with it.
Yeah,
as well.
changes over like every session so
Yeah.
much. And then like with this series down here, I've never driven at these tracks, never even seen them.
Wow.
So I'll just look at it and go, oh shit, there's no practice. It's
Really?
like race one.
So you're straight in.
I'm straight in. I'm just full throttle turn one with like 15 cars or whatever.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Every night.
Yeah, every night. I haven't driven this track. And I'm like, holy shit, what's
That's
going
so
on?
strange.
Man? Yeah, and it was nuts. And we only get two heat races and then the final.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it. So I'm just like out there, like just pin and throwing setup at the thing.
So the first time you turn into turn one, this is a race.
Yeah, it's a race.
Oh,
and
mate.
that's how the whole thing's been.
That's so
even up
bizarre.
north. It was weird, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like, it can be pretty daunting. Like,
Oh, it would be. So how do you determine qualifying? Is it pick someone out of a hat?
So what they do is the first heat, when you sign in
Yep.
for the day and do your scrutineering, you pick a pill out of the thing, and
Yep.
there's a number on it. So then you'll start, say you pull number 4. So you'll start 4th for your first heat, and then second heat's reverse. So they flip the field.
Right.
So
you'll be fourth last.
yeah, so it's kind of good. You sort of want to be near one end. You either want to be last or first.
Yeah.
Like that's usually the best way. When you're like mid-pack, like if you pull 8th or some shit, and then you're like 2 mid-pack races, man, it's not that great. It's hard to get through. At least if you got a clean run in one of the races from the front, and then from the back's not too bad either. You can sort of see what everyone's doing, moving around, and you can try and grab a high line if it's not too gnarly up there near the wall, and just work your way through.
What's it like overtaking someone on it? Like setting someone up? That'd be an awesome feeling, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Like it's a little different. I suppose it's not too different to circuit racing. The track, it's more just the tracks. It's like, is there a low line, a high line? Is there only one line? How you gonna make this move work? You usually just got to try and stick it on the outside, whether that's still going to the pole line, which is down the bottom. Usually with these cars, a lot of times pole line's quickest.
Right.
Because there's just holes everywhere else in the sprint cars. Like the track gets so rough, you can catch it right and flip it.
Really?
Like you'll slide up the track because you went in like a little too quick. Catch it right and you're on your roof.
Have you had one on the roof yet?
Oh man, I did it. I bicycled the thing at, where was it? First round. I think it was the second race with, like I said, that high grip, high banking. Like, didn't quite have the car set up right. Like, and it just it went right up.
Wow. That'd be a weird feeling.
Yeah, it is. These cars, like, yeah.
Because at 295 kilos too, you're talking a pretty light machine to flip.
Yeah,
with that power.
Yeah, it's a pretty light little, I call them death traps.
Yeah.
They damn and the stupid little things. Like I even had we were racing up north and had a young fella come down the inside of me, and I sort of checked up a bit off the guy in front of me, and he's ended up with his wheel, his front wheel was in my cockpit.
Holy crap.
Where my hand would be on the steering wheel, I've got this front wheel sitting there. I'm like, what the hell? And I just turned away and flicked him out to get him out of my car, and he flipped it.
Wow, it's such a different sport, for what you're used to.
Yeah, that's I watch the sprint cars. I'm like, oh my God.
Are you keen?
I don't know yet. That's not, man. That is
nuts,
not. You got to make sure you got a screw loose there.
Because what are you talking to a sprint car? 800 to 900 horsepower, isn't it?
That's about 900. And man, those boys that know what they're doing, they're on that high line driving. I know where they're driving. You could have some balls driving there, and they are pinned. You got to be on the gas, man. You're not going to make grip if you're off the gas. You got to commit. It's one thing. You got to commit. It's an aero car too. So I'm used to aero cars like Formula 3 and shit like that. These things have a lot of aero. They get a lot of aero wash as well from other cars.
Explain aero wash to people.
So aero, it's just dirty air coming off the car in front. You just lose a lot of downforce. So you'll feel it mostly in the front end of the car. You'll get understeer will be the first thing, and then the arse end of the car is going to go. You just don't have the grip.
So if you're a slipstreaming somebody, you'll come into the corner and all of a sudden you'll have dirty air and it'll just straight understeer.
You just don't have the grip. You're going to slide a bit higher. So you want to try and grab some fresh air just before you turn in. Maybe you turn in a little later or a little earlier. Just try and grab a little bit of clean air over your car. You'll need give it a tenth of a second or whatever just to connect.
Wow.
Get that air to connect properly over the wings.
Is the formula what you're in now? Is that no zero aero?
No, it's aero. It's same as the sprint cars, massive aero.
Massive aero.
Yeah, they're really high downforce.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
Yeah, they are. They're actually a high downforce car.
Yep.
They rely that you need it. And that's why if you can get out front, you're going to pull away. If you're in second, you're going to lose. I reckon it's 3/10 a lap.
Just from dirty air.
Just from dirty air. And they're only short, what are they, 16-second lap or whatever it is.
Yeah, 3/10 is a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
That's why you'll see usually the leader, and then you'll see sometimes 6 to 8 car gap, because that's, if you can be as fast as the leader or even faster, you're going to be back a bit if you're running the same line because you're hitting his dirty air.
Wow. It's pretty crazy, eh? That was one of the things that he spoke of about Bathurst this year. It was a bit of a quiet sort of Bathurst.
Yeah.
I reckon the aero wash for this year, the current aero packages of the cars, very hard to pass. You've got that one line, you get out to try and get rid of the dirty air, and there's just, you can't get past.
You're in
the
rubber.
cars are that's it. It's so one-lined,
Yeah, that's what happens, all that sort of endurance, those longer races.
Yep.
The longer the race, the more crap's off the racing line. So it's easy to get caught out there. You just get marble,
just tire.
Tire rubber building up, and just dust and crap. People coming off the track dragging shit on.
Yep.
And it just builds up, and you can easily get caught out. I've seen that in GT racing. You didn't want to get, you run a meter wide, you're probably in the marbles.
And those low cars in the GT, they wouldn't be real forgiving when you're offline, I'm guessing.
Nah, everything's like that. It's even the F3 car. What are we static
Same
ride
deal.
heights, 15, 18 mil, whatever.
That's a cool car, eh?
Yeah, they're sick.
Yeah.
They're sick. Especially that spec that is current in Australia, that I won the Australian title in.
Yep.
In 19 is the it's the Dallara F30. It's an 11 or something.
So they're like a world car, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yep.
They run that. They were running that spec back then throughout the world. So they usually Dallara would usually bring out a new spec every 3 years.
Right.
So they'd usually just kept putting downforce on the things, and then they hit this 2011 sort of spec, and man, the downforce, it hit a peak for the amount of horsepower. So about 220 horsepower, 540 kilos with a driver.
Wow.
So, and that downforce on that generation was insane.
So what's it like to drive one of those?
It's
just
fucking awesome. It
obviously
tries
you
to rip your head off.
ultimate grip everywhere.
Yeah.
High G-force
Yeah.
because of the grip.
Yeah.
Braking capacity is going to be epic.
Yeah. nothing over 50, 60 meters.
Really?
Yeah, no.
So Willowbank, when I was out there with you, so you're coming in to say turn 3 at Willowbank, you just come in and
it's just bang. It's just
bang
big
turn.
Yeah,
Yep.
you just like, that was hard. Like, they got no power steering or nothing. And
really?
and that generation's got what they call UMP front end. So it's like the push rod for your suspension's not connected to the lower wishbone. It's connected to your upright.
Mm-hmm.
So when you sort of turn the car, it's sort of weight jacking the front end, and it puts a lot of load through the steering wheel.
Through the steering wheel.
Yeah, it's heavy. It can be super heavy. Like, to the point where when I first drove the car, I was like, I can't drive this.
Wow.
You guys got to change this. This is undrivable. I'll do one fast lap in that and I'm toast.
And is that just coming into corner entry when it's loaded?
Yeah,
Does
it's
it
all
release
the time.
the whole time?
Yeah, especially higher speed. You
Yeah.
got more downforce. It's like an elephant sitting on the front end of the car.
Damn.
And that thing is just super heavy.
Yeah.
So we're like, yeah, when I first got into that generation car, I'm like, nah, change this, messing with the front end heaps, ride heights.
And you got it dialed. 18 wins, 18 races.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, we did. You've done exceptionally well there. Yeah, we just like, so the lead up to that 2019 title
Yep.
was I had a few little dabs in the car. I think I did 3 rounds or something in it. And we just sort of worked on little changes at a time to just like I said before, it's just like an instinct thing. I'm like, no, to carry more speed here, this is what feel I need from it. And then we're just having a little play around with that, getting the right ride heights and stuff to really get that aero to work properly.
Yeah.
Because you really notice that coming in the brake zones if you haven't got that right. And then just getting the front end to react properly to my inputs. So all I've got is a steering wheel. I've got 2 pedals. I've got a brake pedal and accelerator pedal.
That's all
so
you've
besides going forward and, besides accelerating and braking and actually turning the car, is I'm moving weight distribution around the car.
Right.
So the front end I need a specific feel from the front end, especially with an F3 car, because of aero, anything with aero, but pretty much any car, but especially with aero, you need to carry maximum entry speed into a turn. Right? Your entry speed's going to dictate your mid-corner speed, because anyone can drive a car off a turn.
Right.
Anyone can squeeze the throttle and get a car off a turn. So it comes down to ego entry into a turn. So just getting the car to feel right, and it's all like a brake bleed off. So you initially hit the brakes, and then it's the way you bleed off that pedal to how much weight's over that front end as you're turning the car in to balance the car. Because every turn's a little different. It's camber or whatever, how sharp the turn is, the speed you're entering a turn. So you need that. For me, it was trying to get the front end to react to my brake pedal. So as I bleed out of a brake pedal, the front end's coming back up, that I'm actually reducing the weight on the front wheels. So that gives me the balance coming in. So I can balance that car and maximize my entry speed. So you can raise your entry speed like I don't know. I know from just data and like messing around at the front end, it can make 10 kilometers an hour difference.
Wow.
Like huge.
That's massive, yeah.
Yeah, it's massive. And like you carry that, and then you come through the apex a couple of K quicker, and then you go down the next straight a couple of K quicker, and it's like, holy shit, that was like 6/10.
Huge.
Yeah, massive.
That's one of the things about that, like, that sort of the sport. Like, that's the purest sort of form, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like
definitely.
that,
Yeah.
open wheeled racing with the adjustment of those cars. That's where you find, I guess, your craftsmanship.
Yeah, that's it. And that's what Formula 3 is. And that's
Yep.
why, like, a lot of greatest drivers in the world come through that category now. They're all the F1 guys. Came out of Formula 3 and that sort of specification. Formula 3 as well. And it's a great learning tool, those cars, and really how to drive a car properly. So you have to be very disciplined to drive one.
Right.
You can't be stabbing at the steering wheel and doing stupid shit with the accelerator and stuff. It's gonna punish you.
So, and I don't know. I've got to try and figure out how to say this, but even with the high aero, like when it lets go, it must just be just like that, eh?
It
Is that
feels
right?
like that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Because you'll be pulling like in the F3 cars like 2.8 G, even higher, the return, and like it's a lot of force, and like you're trusting in this car to hold on. It feels like if it's going to snap, it feels like it's going to snap bad.
Wow.
But usually, like once you do get a feel for the car and you have got a pretty good balance in that car, you can really start to feel the tires starting to sort of deform, and you can feel that. Like I can feel the tire on the surface, so I can feel it starting to scrub the surface.
Yeah.
And then once you're starting to hit those scrub angles, you're sort of into that zone where that's the limit, and it's like that thing's starting to slide, and like if that rear end starts to step out, you're going to need to fix that really quick because you're covering a lot of distance.
For sure. And the corner speed, like if you're doing it, like there wouldn't be many cars faster in the country on corner speed, would there?
No,
in any class.
we're the quickest cars in Australia.
Yeah,
like the lap records I set. So I set 3 lap records in 19, and we've got still got the outright. These are outright lap records.
Yep.
This is from anything, and like even at the Bend, they went there with the new S5000s. The V8s in sort of they're in like a Formula 3 tub. They got less aero. Bigger motors, bigger tires, all
this
that
is the
sort of stuff.
Gary Rogers project, eh?
Yeah, that one. So pretty cool cars. And they had Thomas Randall in there. He was getting close, but he was still a few tenths off at the Bend. I would have thought he got it because the Bend is like, it's a big track, and like horsepower is going to make a big difference.
Big straight.
We're running massive drag, in the F3 car. But yeah, they still couldn't get it. Like, it's just the amount of speed that Formula 3, like it feels like 180, 200 is like the standard sort of cornering speed on that thing. And like you're only braking at like 60 meters, throwing in. You barely got enough time to downshift the thing. I'm like turning in, downshifting. You're doing everything at once.
So they sequential box?
Yeah, but it's still like, it's not a paddle.
So where is it?
It's here on the right-hand side.
Yeah.
So you're like turning in one-handed.
Yeah.
While you're like downshifting this thing at like, 200 clicks.
Braking for 30 meters.
Yeah, like
then,
no brake zone.
Yep.
It like literally feels like you're at the corner. Like you get to the turn, then you just brake and throw it in.
When you made the transfer from riding bikes to car, was that one thing that you noticed about corner entry? It was totally different with braking zone and that?
Yeah, definitely. Like, dirt bikes are a whole nother. Even like the road bike, I've seen the road bike guys sometimes they jump in go-karts or whatever, and like it's a whole different thing the way they approach. Say like a road bike though, they usually want to be on the power a lot earlier. You see them like MotoGP guys they get on the power early. Same with a dirt bike.
Yep.
Like you'd power way earlier than
the car.
Yeah, than you would in a car. Like an F3 car, you want to anything with aero, you want to try and get that power on as early as you can and keep that rear end down. It keeps the floor connected.
Yep.
So you'll generate more grip, more downforce.
Yep.
But nowhere near as early as like, the dirt bikes and stuff.
I did a couple of the sponsor days down at Norwell probably 10, 12 years ago.
Yeah.
And they had a couple of it was like a Group 2 spec car sort of there, and we won the competition for it to go drive it and stuff. And then the next one, next time out, got a better drive. You get it not adapted because you're not a driver, but you get used to it a bit more. And what I couldn't believe was the coaches saying, like, from doing heaps of track days and road racing and stuff, like, get off the brakes now. Like, at this part of the, like, as a bike rider, it just blew me away where they're saying to brake and not brake and stuff.
Yeah.
It was just totally foreign. Like, it was just a foreign thing. And
totally different spot. Yeah. I mean, like, get off the brake.
Get off the brake now. You got corner entry happening here. And like, I'd be trail braking to this part here.
Too far.
It was so different,
Yeah. So that's what I talk about, like brake bleed off. That's a big thing.
It's super interesting. I love the technical side of it. I think that's it's interesting.
Yeah, I love that. I've done studied it a lot.
Yep.
A lot of whatever I can, like vehicle dynamics and stuff like that.
How's the what's tyre wear in Speedway like? What are you going through?
It's usually not too bad. I come down here. I've had the same tyres on the whole time.
Oh, that's all right. That's good.
So it's not even wearing. But sometimes like you'll turn up to a track and it blue grooves and then just like you do one session, your tyres are fried.
Wow.
But then I've done 6 nights on the same set of tyres.
That's good.
Yeah. Oh, I think I've done more actually. Shit, done heaps. Yeah. Like sometimes I just don't. Usually you don't get much wear.
Like compared to the F3 car, what would you have gone through?
So with the Formula 3 car, it's not bad. So you get one set for the meeting.
Okay.
So you turn up, you drive on a mark set. So the set you had in the previous meeting for practice. Do your practice sessions Friday, and then come quali Saturday morning, you throw on a brand new set, and they were your tyres for the weekend.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, it's good. It kept the cost down. It was like $1,600 for a set.
Yep.
They really keep in Australian Formula 3. That's a great thing about that category is they really keep the cost down, right? Because the more things you start throwing at it, everyone's like, "Oh, get media guys in, get this. We should be doing that. We should be doing," and it's all cost money. Like unless a sponsor's going to come in and pay for it, if you can find someone and go, "Oh yeah, we'll chip in 40, 60 grand, whatever it is, like prize money and pay to get all this, fly someone there to do the media and." There's all this stuff you can do, but you don't want to be doing it when it's going to come, when the competitors are going to have to pay for it. So entry fees. It's important. You want to try and keep entry fees. I think with categories like this, you don't want to be in the thousands of dollars. That's ridiculous. Like you want to try and keep it like $900 if you can.
Is that what it is? Is that what it has been? Or
yeah, I think Ian Richards. I think he's been doing a great job. He cops a lot. It cops a lot of flack from people, because
because people love to give flack, don't they?
You don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Nah, but look, he kept the category alive. The category's still there. National, the former Ford thing had their drama a few years ago. It got too expensive. It was like $200,000 to do the series, over 200. It's getting ridiculous.
For Formula Ford.
Yeah, the entry fee is like $2,500. Just kept building up to this ridiculous thing. And then it all crashed and they went back to, they've got the cost down again now. All different people running it and stuff. And Ian's just kept Formula 3 just as cheap as possible. And you got to keep there. I was like, bad things happen, economy, stuff like that. And people just don't have $250,000 to blow. Like, you want to be able to make it so that family, like father and son, can turn up. They can go buy a car, trailer, spares, and they can turn up and, if it's $1,000 entry or whatever, $1,200, and they buy their set of tires, and then they just got some fuel and travel and a bit of wear on the car. You keep the cost down for them, and they can. It sort of makes it more people can do it. Whereas when you start getting it too big and it's like $20,000 a weekend, 25, to pay the big teams because if you want to win, then you got to be with a big team and blah blah blah.
Yep.
And it's you start tearing through a lot of money and you take that away from these kids that just don't have the money but they love it and they're good drivers. There's talent there, and so I think it's great like what's going on there. And they so they started running. 19 was the first year they ran the full championship with Australian Motor Racing Series.
Yep.
So that was outside of CAMS because CAMS tried to kill off they wanted to sort of get rid of it because they wanted their Formula 4 thing. And in the end, that all went arse up. Like, cool, it was always going to go arse up. Like, they're just pumping stupid money into it and trying to buy people to drive. And like, I don't know.
So who was this under? AASA?
What?
For what you were doing for Formula 3? Was that
it's
Australian Auto Sports?
Yeah, it's like a different body.
A different governing body. Yeah, I think that's who it is.
Yeah. And so they ran this AMRS series and they done such a great job. It was like, it reminded me of the old Shannon's Nationals, which was under CAMS and, it was like 10 years ago or whatever.
But it was done right.
It was, but it was really good. They ran, Shannon's Nationals run really well and they kept costs down. But then it started to blow out a bit and started to cost the categories a lot of money. And the numbers were dropping in some, like Formula 3, some numbers dropped and it wasn't viable. So then, so AMRS is running now and they're keeping things. Hopefully they just don't blow things out too much. It's always like, it can be like all the fancy stuff, all the wank factor that costs money.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Whether it's media or this or that. So hopefully they've been keeping it cheap, keeping the cost down for the categories, which then keeps it cheap for the competitors. Entry fees are down. And they're providing a great product. Like, they've got all the live streaming and all the good coverage, and events are run awesome. They just run really well. They're on time.
It's what you want as a competitor.
Yeah, 100%.
Plenty of track time, events to be on time. You just the basics, that's what you need.
Yeah, and that's it. And, they had a really strong, 2019. They were coming down all the time. And like, Magro, you can get another lap record. You need to get another lap record because it's really good for the exposure for
sure.
So I'd win news down there and all the rest of it.
It's crazy. Like it's to have lap records around all these places. They must be feeling pretty good about it.
Yeah. So well, we managed to grab 3 with Forma 3 and under the AMRS.
What track did that car feel was really good at?
It was insane everywhere. But you go to places like Eastern Creek and stuff.
Phillip Island?
Oh, we didn't go to Phillip Island. It would be mad there.
It'd be good there, eh?
Oh, you'd be flat 90% of the lap.
But Eastern Creek, same deal. Nice flowing.
Yeah, Eastern Creek is crazy. I don't really call turn one. Nothing's...
Which is just feel like a straight still?
Yeah, it's a straight. And then you go into turn 2, the hairpin, so you brake at 60 metres or whatever. Wow. That last board, knock it down the second, through there. Then it's full throttle again. So you go...
What, up through right, through turn 3?
Yeah,
full
through
throttle?
3s, flat out, 4th, 5th, come over the hill, 5th. And then those S's, when I first got there, I was used to downshift, not drop back gear. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm in the limiter here. What the hell's going on? And so I'm like, no, it's 5th.
5th gear there?
5th, man. I'll come in there at, turn 4.
4 into 5.
At 200 clicks.
Holy
turning
crap.
in, I'm still full throttle, turn it in, and it's sort of uphill, so it makes tons of grip.
Yeah.
And then just roll out a little bit as it comes over the crest, and then it's back to full and turn back right.
Yeah.
And 5th, just
that's some corner speed.
It was so far. It took me a while to readjust the turn-in points.
That's a great circuit, eh?
Yeah, it's nuts.
It's good.
It's good in one of them cars too.
Yeah, I can imagine. That'd be, it's just a fun track to drive or ride.
Yeah, and then Corporate Hill just, we had shitty conditions, so we didn't get a lap record. It was too hot. They'll come down to me and they're like, you going to get a lap record? I said, look, if it's, 20, 22 degree track temp, 20 max, 22 max, yes. I said, it's not. It's too hot. It's 30. I said, tyres feel like goo.
Just jello, yeah.
Yeah, it's shit. And it depends what category they put me after. So I was like, you got to put me on after the right categories next time. They go putting me on after they've been flogging it around with Hoosiers or something.
So what are the Hoosiers? I remember them talking about the TA2 cars.
Yeah.
They what do they leave a funny rubber on? Not funny rubber, but
it's a weird...
I've heard stuff about this, so...
Yeah, if you're after, Pirelli's good or the supercars, our rubber, that's actual rubber.
Yeah.
I feel like the Hoosiers are they're on dirt track tires or something.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's I think maybe I don't know if I don't think they're really putting down any rubber. Maybe they're just pulling the rubber off.
Because I remember they're talking about it at Townsville on the street circuit this year. They ran the TA2 car before the supercar.
Oh.
They kept talking about the Hoosier tyre that was down. It just playing dramas with other stuff.
I reckon it pulls the rubber off.
Doesn't put it down, it just rips it.
It pulls all the air.
Yeah.
So you get a category out there that lays rubber.
Yep.
And then they come out and just clean it all back off.
Back
again.
off.
It's God damn it.
I started again. It's
it's
Thursday.
Friday. You get to the track. We got to one. Where were we? Not Wakefield. Morgan Park. Morgan Park, yeah. Queensland.
Yep.
Yeah, so we turn up there Friday. I'm fifth lap. I'm pretty much lap record pace. I'm it's toast. This lap record's toast. Put new tyres on it Saturday morning, go out, a second slower.
Serious?
Yeah, the freaking TA2. Those Hoosiers, man. I was like, God damn it. And then one of the cars dropped their guts all over the track, grilling motor or whatever the hell those guys were doing.
Yeah.
And so then we had yeah, we didn't have to drive off the track to find grip in one of the turns, so that record was toast. We couldn't grab it all weekend.
Do you find that track fun?
Yeah, it's a pretty cool little track.
Yeah, that'd be fast in that car.
Yeah,
Down through the back there.
It's
and
a bit of a little goat track, but
Yeah.
like it's pretty fun. Anything's fun in an F3 car.
That's such a
It's
good
hard
one.
to complain when you're, one of
You're in
those.
the fastest car around. How did you did some time in a Lambo. You've done some time in
Yeah.
an Audi R8. How does those cars people like glam over, but they just don't compare to a F3 car?
Nah, they're like total wank factor.
Wow.
But they're fucking cool as.
It'd be fun to drive, wouldn't
Oh
it?
yeah, it's sick as.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love driving. I'd jump back in one of them.
So how'd you get into that?
So I was in a Formula 3 car pounding around where we one year at Sandown.
Yeah, right.
At Sandown. And a guy, Ocket Forey, he was down there. He was flag marshalling because he was getting his racing license. And I'd helped him a couple of times back up at Mako track in Maria at the go-kart track because he brought a shifter.
Oh, that's where they used to run the Supermoto, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
So we were out there. I gave him a hand a couple of times in the shift, so like we knew each other was. And yeah, he was flag marshalling. He seen me driving the F3 car, and he's like, "Oh, come and drive with me in a GT car, I bought a GT car. I'm going to run the whole year." Yeah. And it was that same year, and the F3 thing had just gone to my sort of deal and everything had gone to shit.
Yep.
So I was like, "Fuck yeah, just
Oh,
bail."
I'm in. Yep.
Yeah, I'm in. So we went to Phillip Island, done some testing, did a day, got comfortable in it.
And was this the Lambo, like Audi?
Nah, this was in the Audi. So
Yeah.
this was for NPC.
Yeah.
They're like the customer Audi team, very professional team.
Right.
And they were running, I think they were running like 4 cars. They were at least running 4 cars.
Man, it's a big budget, eh?
Yeah, dude, they were spending so much money. It was
4
fucking
R8 sitting there.
Oh, man, the amount of money. And they're like, we turn up, so Phillip Island was the first race.
Yep.
It was at Phillip Island 101, so it was a 101 laps, like endurance sort of race.
Damn.
And, turn up there. Oh, yeah, you need 12 sets. Oh, no, what was it? How many sets? I think they went through like 6 sets of tyres at freaking, what are they, $3.5 grand or something.
You need 6 sets for the weekend.
Yeah,
for that
something like that. It was a lot. I remember thinking, Jesus Christ, like $25,000 tyre bill or some shit.
And you're talking each car's got to have.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
So even one guy, because he said, I brought a car, so the car cost me $400 or whatever they cost, and he goes, but then I had to buy X amount of sets of rims. He said, I got a $50,000 bill for the rims because he had to have enough fucking sets of rims.
Oh, it's crazy money. Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. You sort of get back. You get a bit of it back when you sell it all.
Yeah,
Unless
I
you
guess
trash
so.
it.
Yeah, which happens.
Yeah. We
Benefit.
busted a rim, turned it into a coffee table.
Oh, really? Yeah, they're good coffee table.
Yeah, $2,500 coffee table.
It's a lot of money for a coffee table. You want to like your coffee.
Just had a ding in it. But
Was it good though to say Phillip Island? Awesome track. That'd
yeah,
be
it
good
was
fun.
sick in one of those cars. Yep. Yeah, they're pretty cool cars. Like they got plenty of downforce and stuff.
Yep.
And just V10 like paddle shift, all the ABS and stuff. I'm like, man, I'm just driving a cab. Like, this is crazy as.
Yeah.
Like, you got your drink bottle and you got your blower fan, hook the fan up to the helmet.
Wow.
It was sick.
Do they feel like a race car or do they still feel...
Yeah, they feel like a race car.
It's good race-wise,
Yeah,
yeah.
they're pretty, nice and stiff. And
Yep.
yeah, pretty racy. And so anyway, we were at this 101 and like first time out and they got me to start in the car. And we started like 30. I qualified like 13th or some shit. So we were in older spec. There was 2 specs. There was like championship spec, and then I think we were national. Mm-hmm. So it's just like 1 car behind. And they had like plenty of the pros there, like the supercar guys filling in with some of the other drivers.
Because they do like a bit of a pro-am on some of those, don't they?
It was like that. It's like
Yep.
Garth Tander, guys like that, Jim Slate.
Yep.
They get guys like that in. And we're after the pit stops. Like, all of a sudden, I was in the lead of the race. Like, I overtook a few cars, did a few in the pits, must just been running a decent pace. And just like a nice, consistent pace, nothing like blistering. And next minute, I'm in the lead of the race, pounding around after like an hour. And they still got me in the car. And then I started getting blue flags. So I think it was Jack LeBrock was rolling up behind me in the Merc. He'd started closing in.
Yeah.
And I was just watching in the mirror, he wasn't getting close enough to have a go. But they're waving the blue flag at me, like as if I'm a lap down or something. I don't think they believe the timing system. They're like, why is this national car out front? And they didn't even know who I was in the car. They thought Ockett was in the car. So they're like, oh, Forey's in the car. Yeah. And it took them a while to click that, oh, no, there's Magro in the car.
Yeah.
And then so there's a bit of confusion over it. So I'm getting these blue flags for like a couple of laps. I'm
thinking
like,
you're not on the lead lap.
Yeah. And I'm like, what the hell? And then so I let LeBrock. Yeah, was it LeBrock? Nah, you know what? It was someone else. I'm trying to think now. Richard Muscat.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it was Richard. It's one of them boys anyway.
So you let him through.
Yeah, let him through out of 2, just pulled to the side, let him through. And then just started following. And I'm like, what the hell? I'm quicker than him. And then like coming over Lukey and that, the Audi R8 got a bit more downforce. So I was like right up his cake.
Yeah.
And then he had a little moment after a couple of laps, like he had a little moment kind of that last turn at Phillip Island, like that sweep.
Into turn 12.
Sweep. Yeah.
Yep.
Like it's pretty quick through there. Had a little moment. I think he just turned in a little late. Someone said he started losing tyre pressure or something in that front right. But he just got a little wiggle on and it was just enough. I was close enough. I sort of got a little bit of a toe come out of there and actually I like got the lead back down the main straight.
That's
cool.
cool.
I was like, screw this, I ain't giving it back now. And like they left me alone. I was just hooking around. I think they left me in the car, did an hour 40 or something.
Man, that's a long time.
Yeah, it was like the first time I'd driven a car for that long too.
Were you knackered? Because a big car too,
I wasn't too bad. I was just smash a Powerade.
Aircon on?
Can of Coke. Yeah. But yeah, no, it was sick. So actually, and Ockett jumped in, but then we had some dramas like, there's this weird thing. If you didn't do the right sequence when you turn the car off and do the driver change, you go out and like, we had to shut the car down on the track. I had to do it when I got back in the second.
Was it going like a limp mode or something?
Yeah, done some limp mode shit, and we ended up like 2 laps down.
How good's technology?
No, I know. Like they put all this technology in it, then like if you don't get it quite right, it's like
it's gone.
Pull over on the side track, turn the car off.
Yeah, it's so frustrating sometimes,
Oh yeah, but it was like so we didn't get like a result out of it, but it was just cool.
That would have been good fun.
Yeah, like so I did the whole year. We went to New Zealand and everything down the Tony Quinn's track.
Hampton Downs.
Highlands Motorsport Park.
So you got Highlands, and then Hampton Downs is another track there. But
Yeah,
he's got Highlands.
I haven't driven on that. Highlands was nuts.
That's state of the art, isn't it?
I'm like, what the hell? You guys put every nuts thing in this. It's so busy.
There's
even one bit where you jump off you jump the car.
Serious?
Yeah, there's this bridge and we're coming over at 200 clicks.
Yep.
This is a crazy track.
Because it's sort of set up for, they do a lot of GT stuff there, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because they're heavily involved still, aren't they?
Yeah, Tony. Yeah, well, he owned the category, see, back then.
That's right.
So they were running it pretty well.
Good track.
Yeah, it's busy.
Yeah.
And it's spooky.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's a spooky track.
Yeah. I reckon that like an R8 Audi, that'd be just a cool thing.
Yeah, it was sick.
Yeah.
So we did a whole year in the thing.
And what are they like? Like, are they high aero or what's it sort of?
Yeah, I would say they're pretty high aero. You can really feel the aero in them. Just they're reasonably stiff. They don't roll too much.
Yeah.
ABS brakes, they brake really well. They got a really good braking system in them.
So ABS is on.
Yeah, but you can adjust like the strength of it.
Yeah, right.
And same with traction control.
Yeah.
So you run traction control. We'll run. I would usually run like between 1 and 2 or something really low.
Just so it's there.
Yeah, it's barely there sort of thing. And then the gentleman drivers would run a bit higher. It might be 6 or whatever they're a bit higher, whatever they're comfortable with.
What sort of power figures would something like that be? Do you remember?
600 horsepower. 650.
Yeah, nice. That's
Something
awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty and the V10 too, It's like you hear it come up through the rev range, it sounds like a V8, and then it's like,
and then all of a sudden,
it's like you get to that 6,000-7,000 and it's still going pull. I don't know what I think on 9,000 some shit like that.
That's a lot of revs.
Yeah, they rev, so that's just cool.
So where did it all start for you? Do you start karts?
Nah, I started Speedway. Like
you started
in Tirana.
Oh no!
Yeah, I had this old train. We were bored one day on the farm, and the track, the Speedway track's just down the road, so you can hear it.
Yeah, right. Yep.
So we hooked it down there. I was 16, and 15, 16, and this dude's like, "Oh yeah, I'm selling my car." I was like, "This red Tirana, like $1,500."
Wow.
Like sick. Dad just brought it on the day,
Yep.
So then I was like, oh, sweet. Because I was in my dirt bikes. I wasn't even really in the cars.
Mm.
And so I cut a few laps around the mango trees. Like,
So that's what you do. So just for people, you have a mango farm.
So I'm a mango farmer.
Fastest mango farmer.
Yeah, a mango farm, tropical North Queensland.
Yep.
But yeah, cut a few laps around the mango trees. I'm like, yeah, this will be right. Sweet, whatever.
Yep.
Get in at the track, and I won like first race meet I won.
Wow.
So it was pretty cool. It was fun.
Addiction
And
started.
yeah, it still started from there. I did 3 years in that, and then I went from that, and we're like, oh, let's go do some circuit racing. So we tested an old V8 supercar.
Really?
Yeah, I went straight to a supercar at QR.
That's our like premium category here. And you get straight in.
Yeah, so we're like,
How was that?
it was sick. The car was cool, but we come out of speedway, so I was like, fuck, man, we just had like, it didn't scare us to drift this thing off a fucking turn. We were like,
Yep.
young and stupid. And
Just want to drive this thing.
yeah, we just need to drive this thing. And like, the guy was there like showing us how to drive. He's like, all right, jump in. And like, so he took us for a lap, like, this is where you brake, this gear, whatever. It's like, yeah, sweet, jumped in. I went faster than him in 10 laps.
Really?
Yeah, I was quicker than the instructor
Awesome.
in 10 laps. So I was like, I probably had about 20, 30 laps in the thing.
It's a good feel.
My brother had to go as well.
Yep.
He was quick. And then what did we do? And then we were like, okay, that stuff's pretty expensive. Try and race. And then we were like, let's go Formula 3 testing. So then then we went down the Malala in Adelaide.
Yep.
And jumped in an F3 car.
Wow.
That was nuts.
Really?
That was scary.
The first time driving it?
Yeah, it's man, trying to get used to the brakes and how much grip. Like you said, you think you got that much grip, it's going when it lets go, you're just going to smash the wall at 200k.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that was an experience.
Yeah.
But we actually ended up doing all right. We're only, I think it was minute 5 way back then. No circuit rate. Like, I went and drove. So to prepare, I went and drove hire carts.
Really?
Yeah.
That was your thing?
Yeah, we just went down the hire cart track, down Mako track.
Yeah.
We had Mikado and that down there, and to be a kipper, and Siri and that, and they sort of taught us racing lines and stuff.
That was it?
Yeah, that was it. Like, yeah, that's just sweet, we're good.
Classic.
And then the only kart racing I did. Well, I brought way back then when I was like trying to learn the circuit stuff after Speedway. I brought a little Leopard.
Mm-hmm.
So I just jumped to a Leopard, raced that a little bit for a year, and I was like, man, this thing's boring. So I went to shifter kart, pounded around shifter kart. I still got one.
They're fun, aren't they?
Yeah, they're sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all right. But then, like, I don't know, they feel boring now.
Is that right?
Yeah. I don't know. I just drive around.
I guess you're so used to stuff now.
Yeah, I think the F3 made it.
Yeah.
Like, it just feels like it doesn't even feel like it's fast and it's fun, but like it doesn't feel like scary fast.
Isn't that weird? Like compared to when you first would have got in it, you would have been thinking this is.
Yeah, I was like, this
crazy.
thing's nuts. You're just ripping gears like every 10th of a second. Like,
Yeah.
You know.
Then you adapt to stuff, eh? Your head gets fast, you know.
Yeah, your brain speeds up. It all becomes automatic. So I'm just there looking at the freaking weather and shit. Like, even in the F3 car, I'm freaking on the radio. Might be on the radio like, oh, is that weather coming this way? Or is that rain over there?
Seriously? So you've got time now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can think about other things. But that's what you need. You need to get the driving thing that's automatic. And then you can think about the feel of the car.
Yep.
And like you can drive around and be like, oh, what if I change like that on the car, if that'll help. And little things like that. That's where, you need to get to that point. That's why I say 3 years. To learn a car and the feel and all the setup side of it, you know what I mean? You can pick the driver up instantly.
All the detail, eh?
It's the detail.
Yep.
Yeah, and just even little things on the restarts and cold tyre pace. I was always good in F3 car and cold tyre pace. That's where I made up, positions and stuff like that. And just pulling away on the first lap.
And then just maintaining. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
so you just know where to brake.
Yeah.
You're on cold tyres after, so you know where your tyres are. And big thing with Formula 3 is your starts, race start. Like
Really?
you need to know, if you can get in the lead on the start of race, like no one's like, it's hard for anyone to touch you.
Wow.
Because back in 2013, when I finished second in the championship to Magro, he won 3 titles. And we're on the same team. So we had equal cars.
Good cars, yeah.
We knew each other's setup. Yep. So there's none of that business either. Yep. So it's on the track.
It's all there, yeah.
And it was whoever got start one. That was it. Like, you know what I mean? Because you'd toast your tyres on the first lap trying to stay close enough. And then you got to go through the middle of the race just trying to, like, you know, get those tyres the right temperature and stuff so you can have a go.
So is it really hard to overtake in that class?
Yeah, super hard.
Yeah.
At the pointy end.
Yep. Yeah. When you're talking fractions, aren't you?
Yeah, you're talking nothing, and then you got that bit of aero wash. Obviously, at the same time, you still get the toe. So you know if you can get close enough in the right spot. So sometimes it's like you need to sacrifice a little bit with your setup to go. Hey, you know, I'm gonna maybe put a bit more front, 1 or 2 degrees more front flap in this car, so that when I'm a little closer to him, I've still got the front end.
Yeah.
Because that's what's going to go first, the front end of the car.
Yeah, right.
And like the Formula 3 cars are that sensitive to aero. It's like the whole race, you're watching the flags because you got to watch wind direction. If it changes, like QR, we're flat through one, like just. Okay,
top gear?
Top gear, 6.
Do you button off for a second or?
No.
Just full in?
You can't. You lift, you lose the rear end.
Oh, no.
So it's either commit, do or die. It's either you got a button right out or it's pinned and you just hold on.
Ride the bumps.
Hold it down, and watch that wind direction.
So you'd be watching that stuff.
Yeah, you got to watch that come down straight. I'm like looking up. Is it gusty? Gusty conditions are the worst.
Yeah, right.
It's like you turn in all sweet and then get a little gust and holy shit.
So as soon as you button off, aero's disappearing rapidly, obviously. That's one thing because you're losing weight.
Lifting at the back.
Yeah. So you're losing grip on your drive wheels. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing with a aero car and like a floor car, you know, like a Formula 3 car because it's got a floor on it.
Yeah.
So that's the thing with driving sims, like they don't replicate it properly. I hate driving sims.
I was going to ask you about that. Yeah.
I brought all like decent gear.
Yeah.
To try and get brake feel. They're okay. So I don't mind driving GT cars on them.
Do you think the only good thing is track awareness? Like not
it definitely
just learning
improves
the circuit.
As a driver. You should definitely do. I reckon it made me a better driver. But because what it did is taught me to drive without feel instead of relying 100% on feel. So it taught me to so I can see. You probably pick up a few more things with your eyes.
Yeah. Just from the sim.
Just from the sim.
What do you use, iRacing or?
Yeah, initially it was just the PlayStation with Project Cars.
Yeah, is that any good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good. GT cars on it, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, they actually feel pretty good and they respond all right with the setup.
What wheel are you using? Logitech?
I've got a Fanatec.
Fanatec now?
Yeah, with the proper club spec wheels. So you've actually got a load sensor brake pedal.
Really?
Yeah, if you're not running a load sensor brake pedal.
Not working?
Nah, not worth it. It's not a... Yeah, it's not going to work.
That's
where all the speed is.
The new Logitech's got that.
Oh, does it?
I believe so.
About time they did that.
I think so. I'm
I was pulling mine up. I had the old Logitech too, and I was pulling that apart, changing material under that brake pedal for.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to get a feel.
Because I just got one. Not just, but a couple of months ago. And,
what?
G29 Logitech.
Yeah, and has it got the load?
Nah, not the one I bought. It didn't. They hadn't announced it at that point, but I think the new one does. So
yeah, that's probably. I think like your feedback will be fine to a steering wheel, won't be bad.
Yep.
Like the Fanatec's just a bit more detail or a bit more sharp, maybe sharper sort of feedback. And then it's just the brake. For me, it was always the brake. I drive it, all the entries brake, and so the sims just frustrate the hell out of me.
So you're a left foot braker?
Yeah.
Like a kart braker? Yep.
Yeah, I just left foot, even when I'm not supposed to. I jumped in a supercar. You remember that Aussie driver search thing?
Yeah, I do.
So I went and did that.
Oh, how'd you go with that?
Yeah, it was. I just went screw it. I'm going to go just drive some of these stupid cars that I've driven before.
Have some fun.
Like the 86 and shit like that.
Yeah, that'd be good fun.
It was funny. I had Glenn Seaton in there in the car, jumped in the 86. He's like, oi, don't kill me. I'm like, I got you, bro. And then we hook it out there. And I freaking did like one lap, and then my seat, the lock in the seat let go, and it slid all the way back, and I couldn't reach the pedals.
What'd you do?
I was just like, "Oi, Glenn, I
help
can't
me
reach the
out.
pedals, bro.
Serious?
He's like, holy shit. He's like,
He's cursed, mate.
oh, man. He's a legend.
He good
Yeah.
guy, eh?
Yeah, he's always go catch up with him because obviously his son was racing TA2.
Mm.
So they're always there.
Yeah.
So always go see him. And yeah, it's funny as he's just like, don't worry about it, mate. I'm like, I'm going back to the pits, man. This is stupid. And this car sucks. And yeah, so anyway, yeah, it was 86. Yeah. They're pretty cool. Like, whatever they are.
Like anything's good if you got all of them on the same spec. Like
Yeah.
not good, like it's not fast or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
But if
But
you're
it's
all
good
on the same
racing.
spec, it's great racing.
Yeah,
You know,
100%.
So,
It was great racing in that category.
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, kids will learn a lot, bending lots of shit.
Yeah. I can imagine. You see them jumping the curves and all like.
Wait, but this
that's
is
a
the
street
thing,
car.
you know. You look at what that costs to do. You can be in an F3 car for that.
For sure. They'd be expensive to
It's
do.
the same price as a Formula. I'm like, what are you guys like? And some of them are like, oh, it's easy to get sponsorship because we're at these wank rounds. And like dad's going, oh, you got to be at supercar rounds because that's what they're watching and all this crap.
It's
Man.
came to head last year with the Nathan Hearn case, from driving TA2 then going towards supercar for Bathurst, and I had to be here because I'm like, it was a bit funny. you know?
Oh man, it's all crap.
Politics and sport,
it's
mate.
Politics bullshit.
So-
Like just I don't. It's all this cams crap. They stitched everyone up.
Hey, it's Motorsport Australia now. It's rebranded.
They're still the same dodgy pricks.
It's
I'll say all that shit. I don't care.
It's be interesting to see how this season goes. What happens wherever, you know.
Oh, look, it's going to be COVID. The borders are shut, open, shut. You can't run shit.
You can't.
You're not going to run a national championship.
Be a Queensland Championship for everything.
That's what I should ring AMRs. Is tell these guys, wait,
Come to Queensland.
have a backup plan.
Come to Queensland.
Well, where is everyone based? I think so. South Australia is usually pretty good. So Artec's down there. That's who I drove for. And then there's cars in Queensland.
Those
It's
people-
mostly Queensland and South Australia anyway.
Yeah. Those people were fantastic. The Artec crew.
Yeah, they're cool.
They're
eh?
cool people, mate.
Yeah, they're all down to earth.
Yeah, just love it. You know, just passionate about the sport, which is
Yeah,
cool.
we just have a good time. Get on the beers.
They just seem cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I need that because I don't know. It's probably just the way I am.
So why didn't you do F3? Like, there obviously wasn't an F3 this year.
Yeah.
That why?
Oh no. So there's a budget thing too.
As well, yeah.
Like we spend a bit of money to make that happen, and it took a year or two
Yep.
winding up to, and we got sponsors on board and stuff, and then the win like that, and I just felt like, I need to like step out, let someone else
Fair enough.
have a go in there.
It's pretty
And-
dominating. Like really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I didn't lose a race. Like
No.
18 straight races.
Yeah.
And
And with good drivers too.
yeah, like
Like-
Josh Buchan, he's a good driver. He's
Good.
underrated. Like people that know him will know how good of a driver that
Yeah.
guy is. It was tough for him because he's jumping in this category against a guy like me. And it's like 3 years experience.
Yeah.
Like easy.
Had that time. Yeah.
I've had time in the car. I know the cars.
Mm.
He had to drive against a really experienced. And I know when I first jumped in a Formula 3 car, I was racing against James Winslow and Tim Macro and all these guys that like they got a lot of experience, man. It's frustrating when you come in and like you can drive pretty well and sometimes you might say a quicker lap or some shit like that, but they just smoke you.
Be demoralising.
Yeah,
When you know
it's
you're
so
driving.
hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like that's why I just kept talking to Josh. I'm like, dude, if you need to know, if you're struggling anywhere, come talk to me, man.
Yeah.
I get like he did a great job. I think he done a really good job.
It's good for the category. The
Yeah.
more good drivers in there, the better it is.
Yeah, definitely. It would have been great to see him back in. Like, it'd be good if he can get the money together and make things happen. And I think he should try to get back in there, and he could definitely win a title. Like, if I wasn't there, he would have won.
It's pretty crazy, eh?
Yeah.
Like 18 from 18, though. That's pretty.
Yeah, and like I wasn't in the lead at the start of all them races. Like it
Yeah.
wasn't.
You had to fight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it wasn't easy. Sometimes like I'd win by miles,
Mm.
but sometimes it was like man, I had to jump. Richard Peasy, he's here in Queensland, and Yeah, me and him had some good wheel racing as well. And like I had to get him on the safety after the safety car and cold tires. Like took like 3 turns. We were side by side, and I ended up just shutting the door on him, put him over the curb, massive curb. I was like, "What the hell were you doing out there, man?" It's a huge curb. You like punched the F3 car into it.
Because geez, you'd feel a curb in one of them.
Oh, yeah.
What'd you say your ride height was?
Like when you're actually pegging along, 0. Like it's touching
nothing.
the ground. You can feel it.
So when you hit a curb, mate, that'd just be...
Yeah, it's not nice. Like you walk around some of the tracks, like they've resurfaced the track, but then they haven't built up the curbs. And then you look, you're like, dude, that's like an inch, 20, 30 mil.
Yeah.
And it's like you try to drive an F. You can't put the whole center of the floor over that. You got to be careful.
Wow.
You can put a rear wheel on it and be all right.
Maybe just lift it over.
Yeah, you just generally stay away from Aussie curbs. Our tracks over here aren't nice to that, but it just teaches you, like, stay on the frickin' track. Like,
There's a track for a reason.
That's what I mean. Like, I see all these new tracks they built for F1. They're stupid.
They are.
Just put some fucking grass and dirt there.
As a MotoGP fan, it's so frustrating.
Oh,
like, because same with F1, it just gives every driver so much option to run off.
yeah. Anyone can do that. Just hold it flat. If you run wide, you just drive out around the frick.
There's no
That's
consequence.
stupid. There isn't.
No.
And, like, it doesn't really show the best drivers.
No.
When that crap's happening. And, and it's the same, like, all the, young guys in F3 and all that driving on those stupid tracks. Like, I don't know, man. They should just like, that's why this year with the F1, when they had to go to like some of those tracks and MotoGP tracks, and it's like all gravel, like the old school
The old
stuff.
tracks, yeah.
Yeah, and how sick was the racing?
The racing's great.
Yeah.
Because there's consequence.
There's consequence. There's like none of this, limits for turn, whatever.
He's going to get
rubbish.
a point, like a 2/10 of a penalty or something, because it doesn't mean anything. You know?
It's even like at the bend, they got that last turn.
Yep.
And everyone runs wide.
That comes onto the pit straight, the big wide. Yep.
Yeah, so everyone runs, drop a wheel off, or it's pretty sketchy there. And then they've just gone and added more curb to stop people being on the grass. Of course, they're just going to drive over that curb and they're going to be on the grass still. Yeah, it's just like I said, I made a comment. I said, just put a concrete wall there. Like, seriously, just put a concrete wall along there. It's not going to be bad.
Yep.
Like, it'll just be, like, if you put a concrete wall along there, no one's going to drive out there now, are they? They're going to go out and kiss the wall. It looks sick.
Like, give a racer an inch, they'll take a mile.
Yeah, man. They're going to be all out there on the dirt. They're still going to be doing stupid shit.
For sure.
That's what you do. Like,
you look for something, and if you don't find that.
I'll use all the curbs. Man, you should see in the F3 car, like, those cars are really at the limit of what the engineering of those like arms and uprights and stuff could handle. And it was rattling loose my rear wheel assembly. So at the bend, it was like the rear left. It was rattling loose, like what holds all the sort of the rear bearing and everything together. Like the whole, if that comes loose, like
it's all over.
The whole shit's coming off. Like it's bad. My engineer's like, so you've been doing like 5-6 laps and it's coming in. I'm having to nip it up. I'm like, well, fucking race is 12 laps, dude.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I've tightened it up. And I'm like...
Get the rattle gun out.
I'm like, Jesus. I'm like, all right, we'll go for a lap record, which would be around lap 5 when the tyres come on. So that's just like trying to ease the tyres in. So that's the thing with lap record as well. You want the tyres, like those tyres have a little window where they're good for about a lap. It's about a lap, but you want it to come on in the right spot.
Because I'm guessing you've got too much grip sometimes too. Not too much grip, but is there a point where you...
Yeah, well, the grip's there, and it's like, do you want to use it all? Yeah. Do you need to use it all? And, like, especially if you're trying to get that record, like, you're trying to get that tyre to come on just at the end of that lap, so it doesn't come on halfway through a lap.
Yep.
Because you're going to lose a few tenths for that lap record sort of lap. And that's what happened at... Winton. I got a lap record, but it was like by nothing. But I lost 3 tenths.
Wow.
So I should have had that lap record by 3 tenths, not 300s.
What, did you lose that in just one sector?
Yeah, last sector, tyre went.
Yeah. Wow.
So because it came on, I felt it come on in that same sector the lap before. I was like, come to his last couple of turns, I'm like, just tyres on. This is a peak. So pegged it through that lap. And that was the weird thing too with these cars. that I had to get used to, compared to even like the spec before that. Like Winton, turn 1 and 2,
Yep.
fifth cob.
That's
like I'm
crazy.
coming down there in 6 and just going butt down 1 gear and tipping it in.
Because Winton first turn is that right? Was it?
It goes left, right.
Yeah, that's right. It's a chicane, and then you got
It's
the
a
concrete wall on the
chicane.
out. Yep.
Yeah.
So that's 5th gear.
Yeah, we're in like normally it's like 3rd or 4th.
Oh, wow.
Like obviously ratios and stuff make a difference.
Yeah,
But
but you're
in
still in fifth
qualifying
gear.
trim,
Yep. Wow.
because once the tires go off, you drop back 4th.
Really?
Yeah.
Because you've obviously don't have the momentum even coming out of the corner before.
Yeah, it just
as well.
won't freaking hold.
Yep.
That's sort of all it is. Just wouldn't quite, because that was like absolute limit there.
I'm pushing it
You just turn in, get to that first apex, and back to full throttle.
straight into it.
Yeah.
Because what do you do at Winton? You come back up over that hill, and it's another ride, isn't it?
Yeah, and then it's right, down.
Drops
So you
down
got-
again.
Yeah. You go right, then right.
Yeah.
And then that left-hander
Yeah.
is flat all the way.
That big sort of.
Yeah, you just hold
Yeah.
it flat.
Is it double apex left in it?
Yeah,
I think-
sometimes you got to have, if your tyres aren't quite on, or
Yeah.
conditions are shit, you'll have a little bit, you might lift to say 70% throttle through the centre of there.
Good track.
Yeah, it's a sick little
Good
track.
track.
It's busy,
Mm.
and I've always liked that track, yeah.
Yeah, that and Malala, both really good
Oh,
tracks.
Malalar's actually sick.
Malala's a great track.
Yeah,
Mm.
I like Malalar. I did a lot of, like, early days there when I did state Formula Ford. I did South Australian State
Yeah, right.
Formula Ford, so they were just, every round was at Malalar.
It's a good track.
Yeah.
So it's one of our better ones. And not that it gets publicised, but no one talks about it too much. You know, like but it's a really fun little place to ride. So.
Back then they used to run Super 2 and stuff.
Did they?
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
they used to run that series there.
Out of there.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a good track.
It used to be actual, like, yeah.
Well, I believe, and I don't know, I think I've said on here before, but I think they got Morgan Park done for a supercar. I think they Triple Eight did some testing there, but in reverse.
Did they?
I believe so.
And Morgan Park.
Yeah, but in
Let's
reverse.
see. In reverse?
I might be wrong about the reverse part, but I'm pretty
Reverse would
sure
be sick.
reverse would be great there, coming down that chicane down the straight. But yeah, I might.
Yeah, down into that bank turn.
Yeah,
They were pretty cool. Like, I'd do that Mako track. I'd get bored and go backwards.
it's
down the
good.
track.
It's good to do sometimes.
Yeah, it's actually better back. I like it better backwards.
Yeah, I reckon Morgan Park could be good backwards. Yeah,
People should
I'll be
design
right.
a track and then flip it.
Yeah, that'd be good. Morgan Park's good fun. Good
Do what you
place.
think's good for a track and then reverse
Flip it on its head.
Yeah.
What's been a really good day in racing life for you? What's been one that just stands out?
Oh, it's all the F3.
You just love that F3.
Dude, I just love driving race car. I'm
Can't
like,
blame
that's
you.
my zone. That's my thing.
Yeah. Can't blame
That's
you.
that's what keeps me sane, I guess.
But you enjoy it along the way too. Like you're
Yeah.
not one of these people that's stiff and just like
Yeah,
you
nah,
have a good
when-
time along the way.
Yeah, when it goes to shit, I'm like, fuck it. Someone get me a beer.
Yeah. But you do, don't you?
Jack
You're like,
Daniels.
yeah, you enjoy actual racing.
Yeah,
stuff.
I enjoy it. And
Yeah.
I'm there like, it's Friday. I'm like at the track. I'm like, hell yeah, this is sick. I'm at tracks, race cars. I just full zone out. Can't even
Yeah.
talk.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, and just, I'm always messing around. Everyone thinks I'm just dicking around. I think that's annoying to people that take it seriously and then I beat them.
Yeah, that
I
would
think
piss
it's
you off.
frustrating as fuck.
It would.
Because they turn up and like I'm there at night, you know, it doesn't even like Friday night, I've got quality in the morning, I'm at the bar having a beer.
Yeah. Just chilling out.
Yeah, I can have a beer or two. It's
Yeah.
fine. It's just water and carbs. It's
Yeah.
good.
It's good for you.
Yeah, it relaxes you to sleep properly.
And hydration.
Yep. Fully hydrated in the morning, had a good sleep.
Ready to go.
Man, I was out last night.
Yeah, I remember you saying. Did you change your motor?
I'm racing today. Yeah, we changed it yesterday. Oh, but so I've got the fuel injection system not here yet. It's meant to get here today.
Damn.
So there's not even a fuel injection system on my car. What is the time?
It'd be 10.
Yeah, that's all right.
Right on 10.
Everyone's ringing up 50 million calls.
Probably to tell you that you're going to be.
Where are you? The zombies are coming.
Yeah.
Look at this shit people write to me.
Probably because you're going to be wrapped in cotton wool for the next week now.
Oh, nah, F them. I'm going to my farm. Can't tell me what to do.
Yeah. Tell you what, you'd love it up there, wouldn't you?
Oh, yeah. Like all this COVID stuff happened. I'm like,
What's
what,
happened?
What? Yeah,
Yeah.
nothing even changed. My business didn't even change.
Yep.
Because we're prime producers.
For sure.
And
And you're away from everyone.
yeah, we're way up there. It was like, it was cool. There's
love it
no
up
one
there?
on the roads. Could drive around that freaking traffic.
How good is Gillies Range?
Oh,
Don't you like it?
Gillies.
Yeah.
I'd probably rather Coranda.
Really?
Yeah, it's a bit more open.
Yeah, okay.
Like, and then there's the other one, like the Mossman one. It's real. That one's real tight.
Yeah. Geez, you would have driven that a lot now.
Oh man, too many that.
Yeah. Too many laps. No, it's good fun though.
Yeah.
Yeah, we used to be.
Yeah, nah, it's pretty sick. Like, I don't know, I haven't done it with I haven't done too much. Try to behave myself on the road. I don't want to lose my license.
For sure. It's too hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still the road. It's not.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, if you crash, you're going to die. Like,
It's the last thing you want to do.
yeah. Try not to die. But, yeah, just road cars aren't safe.
Nah.
They're shit.
Nah.
I don't know why. We've got all this safety, building tracks. This is how you build a track and make it safe. They don't use none of that on the roads.
Yeah.
Let's just put power poles on the side of the road and shit. That's going to kill people.
Yeah. And steel with wire wrapped through it.
Yeah. Fucking let's put cheese graters.
Yeah.
Cheese graters and all this shit. And then the cars are road cars. They give all these ANCAP, whatever the fuck they call it, safety rating. It's all shit. Like the thing's just going to crumble.
Do you reckon the Raptor would be safe?
Hell no, that thing will just oh, but you got a bit more car around you. There's airbags and shit.
Just purely in size and
Yeah, but that's all that's gonna they don't build the where you are, like that A pillar and then the pillar behind your head.
Yep.
All that area, they should be making them put more steel in there. Like, fuck the cost. Like, what's it cost to scrape all these people, dead people, injured people off the road and put them through hospital and shit? Like, it's costing us a lot of money because we're taxpayers, the government pays for it, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
It's not going to raise the cost of cars much to put a bit more steel through there, strengthen that.
We have a look. Yeah.
Even seatbelts, they're rubbish.
You have a look at the side impact of a motor racing vehicle and see people survive at the speed, and you think, wow, how did that couldn't happen in the street?
We don't die at 100k.
No.
We're you got to be doing 200, and it's got to be a bad K, something weird to actually even get hurt. I've been race cars, even a mini challenge car. That's just a road car, but those minis built pretty strong.
Were they?
They put a cage in them, and you got a hands device and a bit of safety gear. And I punched the wall 120 head on and concrete
mini?
wall. Yeah, I shortened that thing. You should see how short it was
Where
after
at?
that.
It was what do you call a mini that gets shorter?
Oh man, it was fucking short.
Yeah. Well,
In Townsville.
on the street circuit.
Yeah, just had a little hip and just.
We had a curve.
Oh man, ABS cars are death traps.
Yeah.
ABS. What happens? You get sideways and you're in a sideways drift and you hit the brakes. Instead of the wheels locking up and you sliding straight down the track,
Yep.
it tries to make traction. So it converts all that sidewards energy into forward momentum. So it accelerates you in the wrong fucking direction.
It drives you. Yep.
It drives you into a wall.
That's what
ABS is good if you're fucking in a straight line.
Yeah.
Some conditions.
Perfect condition.
Yeah, but if you're sideways, man, you want those brakes to lock. So you can lock them and slide it down.
So that's what happened. And you smashed into a wall.
Yeah, smashing a wall. I was like, oh, fuck.
Was that your car?
No, it wasn't. But I just, we just cut the front end off, put a new one on.
When you're driving a 400 grand car like an Audi,
Oh, man.
does it go through your mind?
Yeah, that's why
Like you're still a racer.
I never drove on 100. You just don't.
Like you're a racer. It's a
Yeah,
hard
but
thing.
you just don't drive those things at like what you would to a Formula 3 car or something.
Yeah.
You got to drive them a bit different. I think keep your head screwed on. I've seen guys everyone's just trying to prove a point, and they're just ragging the shit out of these things and just doing risky stuff. I'm like, nah, and I'm usually driving for a gentleman driver. He doesn't want his car smashed up.
For sure.
So I'm just trying to just stay out of that high risk sort of zone.
What about Series 5000? What do you think of it?
I think they're kind of cool cars. I really like my modern stuff though. I want to see downforce.
Not go backwards.
No, I want to see get the old A1 cars over here.
Yeah, where'd they go?
They're just floating around. They're cheap as.
Are they?
Yeah, they're cheaper than a 5000.
What were they? What were they?
They got a V8 in them.
V8, yeah.
They got a bit of downforce, big ass, massive tires.
They could have been really popular, eh?
Oh, dude, you get some category like that because you could probably run them cars for a reasonable price, all the old F2 cars, all that stuff. I prefer that. Like the S5000 is pretty cool.
Pretty big ticket.
I think, yeah, they got a bit of money behind them and that.
TCR, tell me what you think of TCR.
Rip off,
Okay.
man. Wait, he's got 40. They're charging like 40K around plus smashing the car to bits.
So every weekend,
Yeah,
40 grand.
yeah. I don't know. Where's all this money?
It's a lot of money.
People have got. Yeah, there's obviously enough people. They seem to have a few. I don't know how long it's going to last and what subsidies are going on. I don't know. But it's probably just pulls away from other categories like GT. So they would have just lost numbers.
They would have split
it's
them
still,
up.
This is the thing. Like
There's only a pool
There's
this
only a
big.
pool of money.
Yeah.
And then they bring all these new categories all the time. Let's do this. Let's do that. Blah, blah, blah. And it's like the good thing, like Chris Lambden with the S5000, he won't let them blow the costs out. Like he's very like, no. I think he's kept himself in enough. I think he's kept enough control.
Yeah.
To go, no, we're not going down that route. We're not going to be 40,000 around. We want, to keep the cost down.
Because the thing was to create another pure class, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah. And Cams has given them the what do they call it? The Australian Drivers Championship, whatever it is.
Are they?
Yeah.
So
I'm pretty sure they get that.
They're a championship class.
Well, they definitely championship class. No, but it's that award. It used to be with Formula 3. Formula 3 had it.
Well, like the Drivers Award or whatever.
Yeah.
So they're going to get that.
What are they called? Gold Star.
Is that?
It's Gold Star. It was with F3 for a long time.
Yeah, right.
And then when Cams did
when they didn't like that.
all that shit they did, they took it away. Yeah.
Interesting time. Hopefully there's a season, for everyone. Like whatever you sort of do, it'd be nice to sort of see a season. So
Yeah, I think with all this code, it's going to be hard to do any national championships.
Yep.
I think is the reality of it. Hopefully they can get something kicked off. But yeah, it just seems to keep popping up, and they just close the board in. They're a bit knee jerky.
pretty
about
irrational.
it
Yeah.
For one case or some shit like what's happened here in Brisbane. I think they're trying to lock it down.
Yeah.
So I'm getting the hell out of here.
On that note, mate, you may have to race tonight. You may not. Depends on these invisible zombies. But we better wrap it up just in case you do have to get back home too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we might have to go load trial, get the hell out of here.
For sure.
Thanks heaps for having me, man.
mate, it's just popping in. It's been good, man.
Yeah,
So,
we could talk shit forever.
oh, mate, you've done so much different stuff, which is cool.
Yeah.
And I love your technical side. I'm a nerd when it comes to that stuff. I really
Yeah, you
enjoy
love that
downforce and shit. It's just makes me tick.
Yeah, it's sick, all that stuff.
So thanks for coming in.
Yeah. Cheers, bro.